excited today. Actually, I'm excited today because here in my econ, what we want to do is help one more person achieve financial success. And so with that being said, before I move on to anything with this, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up in a single parent home. It was me, my mother, my brother, and that was it. My mom worked 2 or 3 jobs from what's that called? Ain't to faint. Worked from ain't to faint. Was an educator, went to school, was a business owner, all of that, but she did not know this information. Had she known it, I would not have to go to 5 different elementary schools before I was 8. In addition to that, I have a son. I actually had a chance to spend time with him this morning. I have a son. I want to be able to give my son something more than just money. Because here's the thing. If we give anyone in the room money and they don't have the knowledge to know what to do with it, they're going to lose the what? The money. So I want to give them the knowledge and education to know what to do with the money, so when I leave this world and he leaves this world, he can leave behind something other than just bills. Does that make sense? So let me tell you why I'm excited. I'm excited because no matter what you're doing, whether you're working a full-time job, you own a business, you're retired, you're disabled, my econ can help. And we're going to show that to you today. So, before we go deep into the presentation, when you were younger, did you have any dreams that you wanted to have accomplished? Did you dream about anything? You remember like before 18, when you were 17, 16, 12, 8 years old? What did you dream about becoming? Anyone? What did you dream about? Astronaut? I wanted to be a lifeguard. Like being a lifeguard was like important. You want to be a lifeguard too? I'll teach you. Okay. So for the next minute, I want y'all to close your eyes. We're not going to take your wallets, I promise. Close your eyes and think about how you would live your life if you didn't have to worry about money, bills, debt. What would you be doing if you could do what you wanted to do, when you wanted to do it, and how you wanted to do it? All right, you got them back up? Everyone started smiling. You was like, I was going on vacation I wanted to go on, all those things. But let me say this real quick. We're not here to sell you any dreams. We believe in teaching a strategy so you can get to your dreams without going broke. Does that make sense? All right, so with that being said, what is my econ? We're fast growing, debt free, and what's most important, we're technology driven. We've been around for over 10 years, and we have veteran leadership. One of our veteran leaders is in the back of the room. Mr. Charles Thomas has been a financial advisor for 30 years. Mr. Ivy Stokes has been in the financial industry for about 30 or 40 years as well. See, we have over 100 years combined worth of experience. When you rather get knowledge from someone who knows what they're talking about versus someone who think they know what they're talking about? All right. So with that being said, our mission is to empower people to attain personal financial success. And I want to say something that's key, is that the word that I use is personal. See, my goals are different than yours. Your goals are different than hers. You're going to have different goals. I may want $1 million. You may want $5 million. I may want to retire tomorrow. You may want to retire next week. You already retired. So with that being said, our goals are a little bit different. That's why it's personal. Before we go any further, we have to understand this. We live in a capitalistic society. Does anyone know what capitalism is? We live here, but I didn't quite know what it was until I started my econ. Capitalism is this. Does everyone in the room have a cell phone? I think Candace said earlier, time for your cell phones. Everyone raised their, you got an iPhone or what you got? You team Android or team iPhone? Which one? Team iPhone, team Android? All right. Now, if we know how to make those phones, I guarantee you we would not be sitting in this room right now. Put it like this. It cost them $10 to make the phone, but how much did you spend for it? A lot. Some people spend $300, $400, $500, $600 for a phone that costs $10 to make. See, that's capitalism. They capitalize on your lack of knowledge. So within a capitalistic society, you have 2 objectives. The first one is to maintain your current lifestyle. Go out to eat, take care of the kids, take care of the dog, go on vacations, things like that. But while you're maintaining your current lifestyle, you also have to be preparing for retirement. Now, this is a big thing that people don't do. They spend all the money now and don't have no money for later. Let me tell you how I know it's true. I worked 5 years for the Social Security Administration. I literally watched people come in the office, retire, and they went straight into poverty because they didn't have a plan. They came in, retired, straight into what? Poverty. Everyone Put like this, the average person in America only has around $33,000 for retirement. That's it. That means that when they leave their job, they live for 20 more years on $33,000. It's not a lot of money, is it? Now, since we are a family in the room, for African Americans, it's around $5,000. That's it. That's all people have. Now, if you're about 40 or younger, I'm not saying don't expect Social Security. I'm just saying don't look forward to it. Come up with your own plan. All right? Now, the Social Security Administration says this. You need 12 times the money you earn now to last you into retirement. So if you make $50,000 now, you need over $500,000 to last you into retirement. Here's the thing. Most people in America are living a lot longer. Now, we got mostly women in the room. You all live a lot longer than men. You all live to about 80 years old. Now, you all really need some money for retirement because you're going to live a lot longer than us. Now, with these two objectives, we have 4 challenges. The first one is inflation. They don't teach you the definitions in school. They may talk about it, but inflation is simply this. It's the cost of goods and services going up, but your money is staying what? Same. Gas go up. Well, gas is down there, but when gas go down, milk go up. They still pay you the same amount of money. You can't go to your job right now and say, hey, boss, can I get a milk raise? it just won't happen. Chips, you can get a whole bag of chips back in the day for about 30 cents. Now they give you half air, half chips. So with that, that's inflation. Because think about this for a minute. Back in the 1960s and 70s, you could go out and literally get 10 stamps for $1. How many stamps can you get today? Maybe 1, maybe 2. See, that's inflation. It goes up over time without you really noticing it. The second challenge are taxes. Put like this. The biggest bill you're going to have in America is a tax bill. The average person between the age of 18 and 60 is going to earn over $1 million. Most people are like, well, I don't know where does that go? Well, the first third of that money goes to taxes. Off top, before you see your money, who get it first? The government. They get it first. They beat you to your money before you work for it. Now, the second third of that money goes to debt, meaning that because you didn't have enough money because the government took the first third, you try to catch up by borrowing money, credit cards, car notes, those things. And then the last third is what's called I don't know money, because many people don't know where to go. They look up 30, 40 years later, they retire like, man, I spent $300,000. Nothing to show for it. I don't know where it went. So that brings us to our next challenge, which is debt. The average person between the ages of 18 and 30 is going to go into over $200,000 worth of debt. Now, most people are looking like, well, Kevin, I don't know how that happens. Well, let me explain it to you, because it happened to me. What's the first thing they tell you to do? Because you go to elementary school for about elementary, then you go to junior high, then you go to high school, and then where do you take it to go? College. Now, I told you I grew up in a single parent home. When I got to college, I couldn't afford it, so I had to do what? Borrow money, get a student loan, first debt. Then when you get on the college campus, no one told me about the free money they were giving away. You all know what the free money is? Credit cards. They give you t-shirts, with water bottles, but you signing up for almost lifetime debt. Second debt, credit cards. Now this is all before I turned 25. Then I was like 23, 24. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of walking to class. I'm tired of walking everywhere. I gotta get me a brand new what? Car. More what? Debt. Then finally, they should tell you this: when you graduate from college, you get like this high. Like you just on top of the world, you can do anything. You should feel like that. But here's the thing. When you having those feelings, you shouldn't go buy stuff. So when I had those feelings, I went out and got me a brand new home, which is more debt. Do y'all see how before I turned 30, how I had about $200,000 worth of debt, and I didn't even have anything to show for it. I had the house, but I was paying a lot on it. I had the car, but I was paying a lot on it. But now, because my mindset shifted, this is our last challenge, financial literacy. If I had financial literacy before I'd done all this other stuff, I wouldn't be in the situation I'm in now. Because I can talk about myself. I didn't know any better. But once you learn better, you do what? Yeah. Do better. Now, my econ provides you with these four powerful solutions. The first one is this: to minimize your taxes. Look, you have to find a way to lower your taxes in America. You have to. Then our next strategy is to teach you to eliminate your debt. We teach people to pay off their debt, student loans, car loans, house notes, all that stuff within the next 3 to 9 years. Completely debt free. Don't owe anyone. Then we teach you about business income. See, the power of business ownership in America is something you really have to grasp, because most people in America who are wealthy, almost 95% of them, own a business. Plain and simple. And then finally, investment education. You're really not making money until you're making money while you sleep. Meaning that, because money don't get tired, it don't have an arm, it don't have any back, it don't have attitude, it can't talk back to you, it can work while you sleep, right? So it works overnight. So that's investment education. Now, before we can shift your money, we have to shift your mind. Here's the thing, money doesn't start in your hand, money starts in your head. Most people switch it up. They like, I'm gonna put the money in my hand and not think about spending it. But you go out and buy everything. So with that being said, we have to first understand the difference between an asset and a liability. Now, an asset is simply this. Anyone will tell me what an asset is? What is an asset? Makes you money, that's good. Anyone else? Kind of been told, okay, make money. We're gonna make it simple today. Assets make you money. All right, let's say it all together. Assets do what?
Make you money.
One more time. Assets do what?
Make you money.
That's it. Plain and simple. If assets make money, what do liabilities do?
Take away.
Take money out of your hand, out of your pocket. So assets do what?
Make money.
Somebody said take money. We gotta try this one more time. Assets do what?
Make money.
And liabilities do what?
Take money.
Yeah, I got it. Y'all got it. Now, because I grew up my education, my financial education, I told y'all earlier my mom was a single parent. She was actually the manager over a tax place for many years. They call it Jackson Hewitt, I think. She was a manager over there for many years, but she did not know this information. Has anyone read this book before, Rich Dad Poor Dad, by Robert Kiyosaki? Very, very important book. In his book, he said that wealthy people teach their children to buy assets. Middle class teach their children to buy liabilities that look like assets. For instance, most people are renting a home and calling it ownership. Think about this for a minute. If you didn't pay your mortgage for 2 or 3 months straight, what's going to happen? You won't have a place to stay. See, they call it foreclosure over here when they see ownership, but over here they call it eviction. It's all the same. You get kicked out. All right, so he said poor people teach their children to buy stuff, meaning that we go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff. That's why you got a lot of hoarders, secret hoarders these days, and they got a whole bunch of stuff in their house. And they're like, I bought a whole bunch of clothes, still got the tags on it. All right, I'm off y'all women. I'm done. I'm finished. Don't beat me up. I'm finished. All right, so he actually told me that my home was not an asset. He said it was a liability. And I was like, wait, my education, Robert Kiyosaki is a multi-millionaire and knows all about real estate. And I wanted to argue with him when I was reading the book. I was like, no, you're wrong. Once I looked it up, I had to really figure out what did he mean. And so then I found out something called a cash flow asset and an equity asset. Now, an equity asset is going to make you money when? Later, right? Later, because think about it. Most people say, well, I'm building equity in my home. Well, you're hoping to make money later. But here's the thing. What happened in 2008? Crash. So all the equity some people had built up went away, right? See, here in my econ, we teach you how to turn your home into a cash flow asset now, meaning that you have cash flowing through your home right now. Most people are not suffering from a lack of money. They just have a lack of education. Because here's the thing, if you can turn your everyday bills into tax deductions, why wouldn't you do it? So whether you're renting or buying, my econ teaches you to turn your home into a cash flow asset. Plain and simple. Who wants to see how to do that? Got your hand? Okay, good. All right, good. Now, I want to say this real quick. We're not telling you not to go get a home. We're just telling you not to call a cat a dog. That's all we're telling you. Call it, if it's a liability, call it a liability. And treat it like one. That makes sense? All right. So we first have to understand that there's only 2 sets of tax laws in America. One for the employee, and then one for the business owner. Now, with these two sets of tax laws, you can choose to get paid 3 different ways. The first way you choose to get paid is as an employee. And I want to say you have a choice. It's just that we are taught to be employees. Think about it for a minute. When you're at school, when you're in preschool, you go to elementary school, and they teach you to sit in class for 8 hours a day, right? How long do your workday last? 8 hours. What time do you eat lunch? At work? About 11 to 12. What time do you lunch at school? 11 to 12. What time you get off out of school normally? Make it home around 4:30 if you ride the bus. What time you make it home from work? About 4:30. Do y'all see how the training go on? So we're trained to be an employee. Nothing wrong with having a job. Just know the training is 16,000 hours of being an employee that you train. All right, let's go to business owner. You can be a business owner in America. You have a choice. And then finally, you can be an investor. Now, can anyone guess out of these 3 people who pay the most taxes? Employees. She said it quick. She said employee. The employer is going to pay between 28 and 33% in taxes. Now, most people say, well, how does that happen? Well, you have Medicare. As a matter of fact, you get taxed on Medicare twice. You got Medicare, and then they call it FICA. I was so mad at FICA for a long time until I figured out who it was. Social Security and Medicare. I used to get angry at FICA. Matter of fact, I got into an argument with FICA one day. I was like, FICA, you taking all my money. All right, then you have federal. Then you have what else? State. So a third of your paycheck gone before you get it. A business owner is going to pay between 18 and 23%, and that is a net effect. And then finally, an investor is going to pay between give or take 10%, depending on what you're investing in. Now, let me show you the mindset of these 3 people. The mindset of the employee is this. I'm going to pay my taxes when? First. I'm going to make sure the government get theirs first. Then I'm going to go out and I'm going to pay my bills. And then finally, I'm going to pay who? Me. You. Here's the thing. Because people get mad when they see this, and people get mad period in life, most people switch it up. They switch up the you and the bills, and then you end up having overdraft fees. True or true? Think about it. Overdraft industry last year made $36 billion off of people's lack of money. So they was like, you swipe it and you go 25 cents over, we charge you $36 for 25 cents. It's capitalism. Capitalism at its best. Now, the business owner, this is the mindset of the business owner. I'm going to pay myself first, then I'm going to pay my bills, then I'm going to pay my taxes last. Very, very important you understand this concept. Because here's the thing. I would much rather pay myself first because I made the money than to pay who first? The taxes. So what we teach in my econ is this. Don't quit your job, open up a business, and then get to the investor side. Because money making money is way more powerful than labor making money. See, once you start doing this, you can almost leave that after a little bit of time. So we teach you, stay an employee, start with my econ. My econ is a home-based business. We teach you about finances. That's our business. We teach you about money. We teach you about debt. We teach you about credit. We teach you about these things. That's what we do. And then get over to the investment side. Now let me show you how this works. Now, we all heard of McDonald's, right? It's one on every corner. She's shaking her head. Yeah, I'm almost a McDonald's now. All right. McDonald's is considered big business. But guess what? Big business give you same qualifications or same write-offs as a home-based business. We just teach you to take big business McDonald's and put it inside of your home and get the same tax deductions. Isn't it simple enough? Y'all understanding? Y'all got it? She's looking like, really? All right. Let me show you how this works so we can understand it. So we teach you to write your lifestyle. You're going to have these bills anyway. You're going to pay your mortgage, your rent, your internet, your vacations. Who like going on vacations? What if you can turn them into business trips? Vacations, cell phone. See, these are anyway bills. You're going to do this stuff anyway. So let me show you how the strategy called income shifting works. We take your everyday anyway bills and turn them into legal tax deductions. I want y'all to write the name of this book down before I get to it, and I think Mark is going to talk about it. But write down Lower Your Taxes Big Time. Mark is going to talk about the book, but I want y'all to write it down. All right, so this is income shifting. Let's say, for instance, your business maintenance, how much it costs for your business per month. Let's say, for instance, it's $50 a month. That's 100% write-off. That's $600 yearly savings. Let's look at children. We got 2 Fine children back there in the back. They smiling and everything. Want to go to McDonald's? All right. We teach you how to turn your children into employees. See, they're going to take out the trash anyway. They're going to clean up your home anyway. They're going to cut the yard anyway. Why not have them turn them into employees and you can pay them up to $6,300 a year in addition to the deduction you get? We'll keep going. Let's say you did $200 a month. That's an additional $2,400 in deductions. Home internet. Who has an internet in the room? Costs a lot of money these days, right? All right, the home internet, let's say, for instance, it's $75 a month. That's another 100% write-off because we do everything online. You get your own personalized website. Everything in your business is online. That is $900 a year. Cell phone bill. Everyone have a cell phone? Of course. All right? $100 a year. Let's say you did 85% business. Well, that's $1,020 a year. Let's look at travel and lodging, going on vacations. I'm going to explain this in a minute how this works so you all can get a clear picture of it. Let's say, for instance, $3,100 a year. Going out to eat. Who like to go out to eat? I love it. I love going out to eat. I love it even more now because it's tax deduction. All right, that's $1,200 a year. Entertainment. Let's say, for instance, we got the Super Bowl coming up, right? He said, yes. Is it Sunday? I've been out of the loop for a while. It's Sunday, okay. All right, let's say, for instance, you threw a business party. You invited your friends over, and you said, look, I teach strategy called income shifting. Sign your name on this sheet, and I'll talk to you about it a little bit later. But right now, we're going to enjoy this business party. But guess what it is? It's a Super Bowl party. And you got your friends over. So you just turn everything you do every day into business deductions. But what did you call it first? A business party. Do y'all see the difference? Yep. All right. Let's say, for instance, it's $1,300 a year. Let's look at car miles. Did everyone drive here today? Are you ride with someone? All right. The government pay you 54 cents per mile. Let's say you drove 10,000 business miles. That's a yearly savings of $5,400. Now, let me explain this real quick so we can get it. What's your name? Marquita. Marquita, do you have family in Texas?
Yes.
Oh, everybody got family in Texas. I'm good. You got a brother, sister, cousin? Uncles, okay. Let's say Marquita decided that she wanted to take a business trip to Texas. Now, on her business trip, she drove her car, right? 54 cents a mile. Well, she decided to do some entertainment, go to the movies a little bit. She got that. What about going out to eat? She gonna have to eat when she go to Texas, right? Another yearly savings. All right, travel and lodging. She stayed at the hotel. And at the front desk, you always have people at the front desk, and someone at the front desk at this hotel. She said, look, I teach a strategy called income shifting. Here goes my card. You should give me a call later. And let me get your contact information as well. Is that not business? Yes. All right. So she did business. On her business card, is her cell phone number on there? Another tax deduction. When she gets home, if she got to type on the internet from her business trip, another tax deduction. But guess what? Can she help that her uncle lives in Texas? She can't help that. She can't tell that man where to live. Live where you want to live. So do you all see how you take your everyday expenses and turn them into business deductions? Yeah. This is a total of $16,000. You're going to need this number, write it down. $16,000. You're going to need it. Write it down. As an employee, you only have about 8 to 12 what they call itemizations. As a business owner, you have over 450 deductions. See, there's a lot of people right now, because it's tax season, they look at it like, did I give enough to God? Y'all know, like, I want that charitable donation deduction. Anyone know what I'm talking about? Like, did I give out my offering, or do I get that mortgage expense? See, you don't have to worry about that because as a business owner, you have 450 deductions. Yeah. Now, let me keep going. Let me show you how this works. But first, I want to tell you all what the government says, what the IRS says, because I could talk all day, but here's the thing. Documentation beats conversation any day. Let me prove it. You will read this, and you'll go home and tell someone about it, and they're going to have a conversation with you like, I want to do that thing. But this is what the government says. So let's look at this. I need someone to read, where does your refund come from? Someone who can.
Where does your refund come from? It comes from your wallet or purse. When you tell your employer how much to withhold from your paycheck, or you make an estimated tax payment, for the average refund, that's about $40 a week too much.
All right. So, with my education, I got got 2 associate degrees. I got a business degree from UCA. I never learned what the word refund meant. So I had to speak to an English major to find out what the word refund meant. So re means again, and fund means money. The government is giving your money away. Again, whose money is it? Yours. They're just giving it back. They're just saying, thank you for letting us borrow your money for the whole year. We made some interest. Let me give this back to you. On this same thing, it says you pay about $40 a week too what? Too much. Now, let me be clear on something. This was in 2005. It's 2016 now, and we know the taxes number go what? Up. That's how they do. They go up every year. They don't go down. They go up. So this is around $120 a week now. People are overpaying in taxes. 80% of Americans, 80% have their W-4 form filled out wrong. The first strategy we teach you to do is to correct your W-4. Most people have the W-4 set on high school. They haven't changed it since high school. We had one lady who literally gave the government over $300,000 because she got married, had children, all that kind of stuff, and had her W-4 set on 0 for 20 years. Gave away her retirement. All right, let's keep going. And after this, I'll be finished. This actually happened to me my very first year in my econ. Now, I want to be clear on this. I wasn't great at all. I was horrible. I used to pass my business cards out and run full speed. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. So you're going to be not so good at first, and this is my story. This is what happened to me. I used to work for the Social Security Administration for many years. So my first year doing this, I earned $48,000. Now, do you have the sheet of paper? She got to pull it out. That's good, right here. Everyone hold, yeah, can you hold it up for, there we go. Can you pull it out for us, please? If you just walked in the room, make sure you pull it out. You're going to need it. Should be in your packet. I'll give you a second to pull it out. Hey, Candace, how much time I got left? Okay, good. I got 5 minutes for real? Oh, good. Oh, I'm on time today. All right. So if we have any people in the room who do taxes or who knows about taxes, we understand that we live in a progressive tax system. So these numbers are going to be straight, simple numbers, so you can understand them. So let's look at $48,000. At $48,000, I'm single, and I didn't get a chance to carry my son. What tax bracket am I in? What's that now? I'm single, no children. What tax bracket am I in? What tax percentage do I have to pay?
Probably about 33.
33? She said, who said 25? Somebody said 25 and got it right. 25%? So 25% of 48,000 means that I have to owe in $12,000. Now, this is for the person who put their W-4 on 0. This is how much come out your check. Leaving it on 0. Now, we do get what's called a break for living in the United States Corporation of America. You get a break. At the very bottom of that piece of paper, for being single, what's the standard deduction you get? $6,300? Set it over here, $6,300. So that comes off, and you also get something called a personal exemption. How much is that personal exemption for living in America? $4,000. So those two combined is around $10,000, right? So we take the $10,000 directly off of the $48,000. Now my taxable income is $38,000. What tax bracket am I in now? Still 25%. So they still gonna get me. So 25% of $38,000 means that I owe $9,500 in taxes. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's almost my paycheck gone before I even get it. All right. So you remember earlier that $16,000 we told you about? Y'all remember that? All right. So here's the thing. That $16,000 comes directly off of your taxable income. Period. So if it comes directly off your taxable income, then you got the $16,000, and now my taxable income is $22,000. Do y'all see the power in this? Because if I lower my taxable income, guess what I lower? My percentage. Because now, versus being in the 25% tax bracket, I'm in a what? 15% tax bracket, and I owe less taxes. Now I owe $3,300. So, as my mentor always says, the worst thing that can happen in my econ is that you save yourself about $6,000 in taxes your first year. But here's the thing. Most people don't even last a whole year. They don't last a whole year. Because I was talking to this young lady the other day. She was in my econ for like 4 or 5 months, and then she dropped out of it. And I was like, well, why don't you stay in? Because then she called and get her taxes done. And for those 4 or 5 months she was in, she still qualified for a lot of deductions. Because at first she was going to have to pay in, now she's going to get a refund check. Because she used this strategy for 4 or 5 months. Imagine if she used it the whole year. A lot more money in her pocket. Now, this is why Warren Buffett pays less taxes percentage-wise than his secretary. Warren Buffett is a multi-billionaire, but he pays less taxes percentage-wise than the person that works for him. Because he understands how taxes work. We didn't make the game, we just say learn how to play it. All right, so my first year doing this, I got back $1,800 in state. Most people say, well, that's my federal return. Well, that was my state. $1,800 in state, and then I turned around and got back $6,200 in federal. Single, no children. Now, for those in the room like, well, how did you do that? Well, the first strategy is to go back and adjust your W-4. I put an additional $450 in my paycheck per month for making that one adjustment. Now, at the end of the year, you got the people who have conversations out there that's going to tell you, well, you're going to have to pay in. If you put your W-4 that high, you're going to have to pay in. And I'm going to get to it a little bit later in the not this presentation, a little bit later. It's called refundable credits. Y'all want to write that down? You're going to be able to see it's called refundable credits. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but you got the people say, you're going to have to pay in. You're going to have to owe the government. Well, not true. I got a check. So I got my money during the year, so I was paying my bills on time, and then at the end of the year, I got a refund check. My first year, I cash flowed over $8,000. Didn't sell, have one person in the business because I was horrible. The government knows you're going to be horrible. They know you're going to be bad. Amazon went 20 years without showing a profit. 20 years. So for the people out there that say, well, after 5 years, you got to show a profit. That's not true. That's another conversation. So at this point, you got to learn how to leave the conversations behind and start looking at documentation. All right. So I think I'm finished now. Yeah, I'm finished. Yeah, I'm finished now. The next gentleman I'm going to bring up has been part of my econ for about 2 years. He's an educator. He loves to help people. I just contacted him the other day, and I sent a high school student to him because here's the thing. We got to be able to minimize the time that they learn. Because that's why we're here. We help them learn faster. So he's an educator. I sent a high school student over to him. He's going to talk to him about mentorship and all that kind of stuff. So he loves to help people. In addition to that, he loves his money as well. He'll be completely debt-free in 9 years and he'll be a millionaire in how long, Marcus? How long was your calendar? About 10? Be a millionaire in 10 years through a strategy. And most important, he has a heart of gold. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mr. Marcus Montgomery.
to start a home-based business if you don't already have one. And that's the idea that we're talking about with MyEcon is letting people know you need to have that home-based business in order to allow you to move forward. I'm just getting mic'd up here. Let's see how we can do this. I know y'all can hear me pretty good, but I guess they don't want me to go hoarse today. How's that? So we know that Sandy Bakken really cares about people because he could have stayed just doing his attorney thing, but he wanted to get out here and help the American people across the country. Now also, when you look at this opportunity, you may say, wow, I heard all the things that Kevin said, and I hear you talking, Mr. Montgomery Marcus, is sounding good. It'd be a valuable thing for you, I know. You may say, I'll be willing to pay this amount or that amount, but guess what? Today, it's only $179.99, one-time out-of-pocket expense that you would pay, and then $34.95 a month that would keep your financial success membership going. So here's the deal. You get the software, you get the system, and you also get the support. What do I mean by that? You get powerful software that helps you run your business 24/7. It's all internet-based. It's all technology-driven. You don't have to worry about being in a store and you can't access it. You don't have to worry about being in a certain part of town. It's all on the internet. So you have the software, you have the system that teaches you how to get rid of your debt, how to start investing, and then the support. You have the support of people in this room, you have the internet support, you have millionaires at your disposal, and that's a powerful level with the software, the system, and the support that MyEcon offers you. Also, we know that with this, we talk about the cash flow manager. I want to ask you a quick question. Who can tell me what is the number one reason that businesses get audited? Why do businesses get in trouble? What do they audit them for? Anybody know? Poor records. Marquita is right. It's poor record keeping. But we solved that with MyEcon. This app right here is an app that goes directly on your phone. You can access it at any time. When you go out to a restaurant, you're going to be able to store your costs. You're going to be able to input your mileage. So everything that you do that you need to keep track of, now you have a handy system right on your phone that you can access it and keep records on everything. How many of y'all use apps right now? Use some type of app on your phone? I'm sure everybody has one, but MyEcon, with that membership that we talked about for $34 a month, you have the power now where the app is right there on your phone, so you have powerful software. And it puts everything in order for you. You know, this is tax season. You know, a lot of people are going to be walking into tax places with a Nike shoebox full of receipts, right? But people in MyEcon, they're going to walk in and they're going to be prepared because when it's time for them to go have their taxes filed, all they have to do is press print. And that's the power that we want to give you. Now, it also mentions the ID Defender. Well, the ID Defender is important because research shows that probably about 7 people every minute are getting their taxes. They're getting their ID compromised. And what we're saying is we don't want you to have anything happen to you, but if something should happen, we'd rather you be prepared. Because you ever heard that slogan, you want to prepare for the worst but expect the best? You know, that's basically what we're saying. If something should happen, I think you'd much rather have something in place that will help you in the event that your identity was compromised. I don't know if anybody has ever had that, but I'm sure you know somebody who's had their identity compromised. Let me see your hand if you've heard of somebody or know somebody that had identity theft happen to them. So it's a very popular thing these days, but MyEcon also with your software that you get that support of an ID Defender. It gives you $1 million of protection, and it also gives you professionals working on your side the moment that something may happen, should the worst happen to you. So we also have other products. You know, and the thing about it is we're not a product-driven company. We're not that at all, but sometimes these products do help you and allow you to be able to reach out to different people. We have things like the Legal Club of America that gives you free and discounted legal services. We have tax advice and preparation. I'm sure many of us in the room could use a little tax advice this time of year. Also, we have gourmet coffee. Does anybody in here drink coffee? I'm a coffee drinker. I see we have a coffee drink on the front row. You know, and the thing about it is we have these products that you can offer to people in addition to what we're already giving you with the software, the system, and the support. So you can reach out to people and give them things that they may want. So we have powerful products. Like I said, we're not a product-driven company, but we have things that add value to what we're already doing. Also, we have the Cashback Mall. Now, I really like the Cashback Mall, but I want to ask you all a question, and I want you to think about this. Are people going to shop at Walmart?
Yes.
Are people going to shop at Best Buy?
Yes.
Are people going to go to Sam's?
Yes.
They're going to do all those things. Now, if they're going to do all those things, couldn't they buy it from you?
Yes.
couldn't you go to those same stores that you go to anyway and buy from yourself? Well, MyEcon teaches us just those strategies. You see all these stores up here on the screen, even Priceline, the #1 flight travel booking company in the country. Priceline is here. You can buy all the things that you buy, but buy them from yourself. But here's the kicker. Wouldn't you love to buy these things from yourself, but then have the company send you a check for doing it? That's the power of what we do, is being able to give you the opportunity to buy from yourself and get paid to do it, and also allow other people to do that as well. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever been to Walt Disney Resort, but I'm sure somebody in here has been to Walt Disney Resort. But the question is, could you go back to Walt Disney Resort and invite 9 family or friends to come along with you, have everyone give you the money, you purchase a ticket from yourself, go have a good time, come back home and have a check waiting on you in the mail? Could you do that? That's the power of MyEcon. We have relationships with Vacation Rentals by Owner. You see all these relationships that we provided just simply to make your MyEcon experience much more valuable and much more powerful. Like I said earlier, we have the software, we have the system, and we have the support. Now, you may wonder, well, everything sounds good, but Marcus, I want to know how to make money in MyEcon, because right now we've been talking about a lot of the strategies of what you can do and things that you can do to help build up your wealth and get out of debt. But is there anybody in here that wants to make some money in MyEcon? Can I see a hand if you do want to? Okay, I see a few people. And here's the thing, we don't want to miss you. If you're here and you know you want to make some money, let's talk about it. How can we make some money in MyEcon? Well, here's what you do. First, you want to use the strategies. We gave you those strategies. Kevin did a wonderful job of explaining those. But secondly, you want to build a team. If you go out and you build a team, you tell 2 people about it and get them involved, now you promote it to the level which gets you bonus qualified. So after you get your first 2, every 7 people, who in here wouldn't love to get 7 people into this who you know needs the help, and you get a $1,000 check every time you get 7 people in here? Could we give it a round of applause for that? Just for $1,000 checks. Hey, and I'm going to tell you, I've received a $1,000 check before, and it wasn't in December, but it felt like it was Christmas. All right? Now, that's the power. You go out and build a team. I know some of you are thinking, I can build a team. I can tell somebody about this. I know 2 or 3 people right now that need to know about this. So that's the power that you get. 2 people gets you qualified for bonuses. After that, every 7 is a $1,000 check. Now, we want to keep going because we know that when we start building up our money, when we start using these strategies, when we start getting our debt reduced and getting more money coming back into our home, we need a system to help us keep that under control. Because a lot of times people have money, but they don't have a plan on how to maintain and manage that money. This system is called the cash flow strategist. The cash flow strategist, but I want everybody to say GPS. Now, we talked earlier about going to Dallas. Marquita said she had relatives there. When you go to Dallas, you're not going to just drive to Dallas. You're going to put it in the GPS, right? That GPS is going to tell you how to leave Little Rock and go all the way to Dallas. This GPS is a financial GPS. It's going to tell you what you need to do with your money, who you need to pay first, how much you need to give them, and how long it's going to take you to get out of debt. That's a powerful system. That cash flow manager the cash flow strategist shows you things like your car loan, your credit card debt, your house right here. There's a mortgage right there for $180,000 plus all these credit cards and car loan debt. This person had over $200,000 worth of debt, including a mortgage. And how long does it usually take a person to pay off a mortgage? About 30 years. Well, with the strategies that we have with MyEcon, you can get over $209,000 worth of debt, including your mortgage, paid off in 68 months. That's a little bit over 5 years. And that's powerful. And that's what we're going to be giving you access to when you become a member of MyEcon. Now, also, I want to let you know about this young man here. And I see some people laughing when they see that picture on the screen. It looks funny. Who is that there? That's Albert Einstein. Now Albert Einstein, you know him. He's famous for researching a lot of things, but he also did a lot of work on the Rule of 72. The Rule of 72 deals with compound interest. And basically what we mean by compound interest is it means how much time it'll take for your money to double. So you can take the interest rate or whatever your money's at, divide that by 72, and that'll tell you how many years it'll take your money to double. And that's showing us an investment of $10,000. Now I want to let you know, it doesn't take $10,000 to get started with investing, but that's just an example purpose that we want to use. But before we go into that, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you to kind of put your thinking caps on for a moment and just ponder with me and ask yourself, how much money would it really take you to retire? What is the type of money that you would really need to retire? And that's what we want to think about as we go into this slide. Now, it's telling us if we had $10,000 at 4%, it would take that money 18 years to double. So let's go through it. At 30, you put in $10,000. By the time you get to 66, which is retirement age, is $40,000 has been accumulated. Is that enough money to retire off of? No. I hear a lot of people saying no. Well, guess what, guys? You know, right here in America, the average American citizen, when they try to retire, they're trying to retire off of less than $40,000. Really about $35,000 that they're trying to retire off of. I don't want to depress you, but I'm going to go on and tell you, we're all here this morning. Can I just be real? Right. I can be real. The average African American person who's trying to retire is trying to retire off less than $5,000. That's depressing. But it's also motivating, because for me, I say that's why it inspires me to get out here and let people know about My Econ, because we need help. I've seen people in my hometown of El Dorado, they retired, but then they went back and started working another job, not because they wanted to, because they had to. And they were in a situation where they needed financial help, so we have that help in My Econ. Now, let's go further. When we look at the next percentage, at 6%, it takes our money 12 years to double. So at 30, we put in $10,000, and when we get to the age of 66, we have $80,000. Is that enough to retire off of? Still not enough to retire. Well, let's look at the banker's secret. Now, the banker's secret is they're going to get at least 10% or more on your money. That's the banker's secret. I went in the bank this morning, and I cashed a pretty big check. And I told that woman, I said, I know y'all can't give me my money right now because you're going to hold it, because you're going to have to take it about 10 times. For every $1,000 that you put in, they can invest that money 10 times. So she said, wow, you know a lot. I said, I want you to know this as well. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, though, y'all. The bank can take $1,000 of your money and invest it 10 times at 10% or greater. So when the bank gets your money at 12%, let's look and see what they get. At age 30, you put in $10,000. By the time you get to age 66, they've accumulated $640,000. Is that powerful? But guess what? In My Econ, we're teaching everybody that we need to go out and get at least 10% or more on our investments. And so when you look at it, is $640,000 enough that you can retire off of? And I say yes, it's enough that you can retire off of, and that's what we want to be able to do. But what the bank is doing, they're giving us our $40,000, smacking us upside the head and telling us to get out of their face, and they're keeping the other $600,000. So when I ask you about My Econ, it's $179 to get in, but guess what? It's not $179,000. It's not a $179 decision. It's a $640,000 decision, because it's the price we pay for not knowing, you all. When we don't know these strategies, then we have to pay that price. But when we begin to know, then we can be the one putting a circle around our name and having that $640,000 waiting on us. Does that put a smile on anybody's face? I know it does mine. Now, I don't want to just tell you about this slide and say, well, that was good. That was an example purposes. Let's look at a real live account. This is a real live account. Where does this account come from? Which bank? Everybody knows that bright green Regis logo. Now, we see it here. $10,000 was in the account in May of 2015. How much money had accrued on that account? 8 cents. So that's about a penny for every $1,200. And that's ridiculous, because this man had $10,000 in the bank and they gave him 8 cents. That's an insult. But you know, when you put your money in the bank, these are the type of percentages that they give you, low percentages. And My Econ is teaching us that we can become investors. Start looking at wholesale investments. Start looking at Roth IRAs and make those words be common use words in your home. And that's the power of My Econ. We're taking our money back. Everybody say, taking our money back. That's it. Now, Regis is showing us what they think about this man with his $10,000. So I want you to think about that and think about this decision that you're getting ready to make. Because right now, what I want you to do is, you don't want to let a social decision steal your wealth. You don't want to be like me. When I first got ready to get started, I was thinking about what other people may think. I was thinking about, well, what about people who may not think it's something? They may say, well, it's a pyramid thing. And they say, oh, man, I wouldn't do that. It's one of those things. Because people are going to do that. But guess what? I asked you a question. If you were at home in your house and you had a leak in your plumbing, would you want to call an electrician or would you want to call a plumber? You would call a plumber. So if we have a leak in our finances, we don't want to talk to broken, skeptical people. We want to talk to people who have some documentation, like Sandy Bakken, like people in this room that are making a difference in their lives and in their families' lives. So you don't want to let a social decision steal your wealth. I think we're in the midst of people who are today ready to make the right decision and move in the right direction, because all of us in this room, you're either probably going to be a 3 and that person says thanks, but no thanks. But guess what? We still thank you for coming and listening, because if you're a 3, you took time out of your schedule to listen and get some powerful information that you probably hadn't heard before. Then also you may be a 2. You may say, well, you know what, Marcus? I want those strategies. I want that education. I'm ready to make a change in my life. I don't want my next 5 years to be like my last 5 years. I want to make a change so that 5 years from now, I can see my wealth growing and I'm really feeling good about what my financial life is. That's you. You want the strategies. You want the education. You're ready to join. Or you're 1. You say, hey, Marcus, you didn't even have to come up here. After Kevin said the first slide, I was dreaming again and I was ready to sign up. So that may be you want the strategies, you want the education, and you want to tell people about it. So whether you're a 3, 2, or 1, we appreciate you for coming. But what I want to do right now, I want to let you know, guys, I want to take some open questions. We're going to get Miss Candace Woodruff back up to the front of the room. Would y'all welcome Candace back?